So I just got some of the worst news just back to back, man. Like it's just getting exhausting. Now what I'm going to say is going to be it's going to be a little weird here. I didn't know this. Apparently someone just notified me here. But you remember the guy, Daniel Kibblesmith. He is the funny-looking pencil-neck white guy that was responsible for the whole New Warriors that was supposed to come out that had Safe Space and Snowflake, the guy with the internet gas, and all of that. So apparently that wasn't enough for Marvel, even though they realized it was so bad that they couldn't put that shit out. See, this is the funny thing. When I'm right, I'm right. And I don't know if I need to start pulling a razor fist here in a little bit. I mean, this chair doesn't spin. I have one in there. But I know that there are people that hate watch my shit. And they like to think that I'm being either overly dramatic, I'm making stuff up, I don't know what it is that I'm talking about. When I say that people fail upwards, this is exactly what I mean. When I've talked about the Kelly Sue DeConnicks of the world, the Kelly Thompsons of the world, and they fail upward. What I mean by that is they put what is objective, like no gaslighting, objective dog shit. As in you see it, hey, that's dog shit. That's what we see. They might try to call it something else, but you see and you know it's dog shit. This obviously one of my, if you guys could not see, if you didn't know, there's Blade and Wolverine right there. You know, in my studio, the one that I talk in front of all the time, you do that. Definitely when I first started doing my show, I had that big Blade, Black Panther. Obviously, Blade is one of my favorite characters that has existed in terms of definitely when I was coming up and the movie was coming out and all of that sort of stuff. And I grew to like him, even with his change. I grew to like him. The guy that is responsible for that dog shit is now going to be doing Blade. And any other month, this will be my biggest news, but Comics Baby is competing with Actual Baby. This one's blah, blah, blah. So basically, he's writing a Blade comic for Marvel. See, a guy puts out something who is responsible for one of the most corniest, retarded concepts of a book, gets laughed out of the room, even by the people that they tried to signal to. Gets laughed directly out of the fucking room, and it gets ratio wherever it goes. We still use it as the butt of the joke, and yet still Marvel says, and the insane people that run Marvel say, you wrote this dog shit. And of course, all the editors and everybody that was part of the leadership crew, creative directors, all approved of that dog shit. And you guys were actually about to put it out. It went up those chains before you got all of the backlash. So instead of being like, you know what, maybe this guy isn't what it is that we need in terms of material. He doesn't seem to write books and understand his audience. What do they reward this dickhead with? Blade. What the fuck, Kibblesmith? Oh. And again, this is why, there was a once upon a time, I'm not going to lie. If I can be just completely honest with you guys for a second. There was once upon a time when I would have thought it was a dream to write for Marvel or DC. I would have been ecstatic. I would have been stoked because I know my talents. I have the proven knowledge of the history of the characters. I will be a prime person, obviously, to write for them. There was once upon a time when I'll be like, that's a dream. Now, no. I don't even want to be like part of that shit. Not at this state. Unless I was going to be given some sort of leadership role to turn the shit around, be Jim Shooter 2.0, maybe. But aside from that, like a gig, no, I would much rather create my own stuff, which is what we need. Because, and buy back issues, of course, and reminisce on what was. See, that's in so much material that you get the luxury of doing that, because right now, the people that are clinically insane run the actual asylum. Their leadership has long been compromised. They continue to hire people that have no business being next to books. So the same company that gives you Kelly Thompson, the same company that gives you Kelly Sue DeConnick, the same company that gives you this dipshit Daniel Kibbles bitch, whatever his name is, the same people that give you these guys, Vita Ayala. These people that don't belong anywhere near these. The guys that gave Ta-Nehisi Coates a book, having had nothing documented that showed that he was ever a fan of comic books until you hired him, right? He gets two of the most iconic characters in Captain America and Black Panther and gets to write their books, having never been any sort of evidence, not even him uttering the term Marvel Comics prior to him actually just becoming a writer. It's almost as if his social political views had something to do with it. I get more and more motivated, guys. Like, you know, by the end of the year, we start to gear up towards what it is that we're doing on the comic book side and launching our universe. Like, they're not writing books or having people write books that have business writing books, and they're not even writing books for actual comic book readers. They're writing books. They're getting dipshits to write books for other dipshits that are unreliable, that aren't even fans of actual comic books. They just, you know, maybe watch movies and stuff, but they don't actually read this shit. It's not, and this is why the Japanese kicks your ass in your own. Look, it's gonna take guys like myself, guys that are already in the independent circuit, to turn this shit around. Because right now the Japanese have walked into America and took a big fat dump in the living room and said, "Yeah, what you gonna do about it?" That's basically what the Japanese have done. They're kicking y'all's ass in your own damn country. If you want thing to do it out on the other side of the world, they're doing it in your own country. You can't crack the top fucking 20. And I think it's been 2-3 months in a row since April at least, where for the first time you couldn't crack the top fucking 20 in graphic novels because all of them bitches was Japanese. And have you no dignity? Have you no dignity? How you just no dignity to say, you know what, we need to turn this shit around. We getting our asses whooped in our own backyard. It's one thing for you to go somewhere else and get your ass kicked, but you the home team, bro. What are you doing? So this is why I'm like, you know what? Just if you are a creator in this space, some of us are going to fail. Some of us are going to succeed. But there is a ripe community of people who are just like giving up on DC and giving up on Marvel Comics, because the big two, they unfortunately have a bunch of crazy advocates that work for them who are hiring talentless hacks who even on they're already like, I don't even know what Kibblesmith did to get this job. In fact, I'm going to end the video on that because I don't want to think about it. You just watched a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake. Catch us live at 12 p.m. throughout the week over at youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and follow us over at odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. If you want to watch the entire video cast after the show is over, just be sure to become a member on the YouTube channel. Of course, the full audio portion of the podcast is available for free on all major digital platforms, or just visit forcanonsake.com.